Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to FTB Interactions. So, since last episode, I've got a little bit of work done. In all honesty, I was breeding and EV training and stuff, and whenever I do that, I'm like really focused, and I don't stop until I get done. So I was doing a bit of EV breeding and stuff, and Pokemon breeding on Pixel Guard for a couple days. So I didn't get a whole lot done. I did get some planning done here, and I'll show you outside a little bit later what I was planning and what we're going to have going on. And then I also got some stuff prepped up and more stuff processed that we'll be using. And then I got the user interface and the machine surfaces. And actually, let me put this cobblestone. Had that because I was planning stuff out. And I also set up a couple more caches. So we've got the sodium that we have coming from processing that sodalite, and then also we have silicon that's building up in here. We have 60 at the moment, and this is done running. Okay, cool. So anyways, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be pushing onwards into our space work. And the very first thing, actually the rocket assembling machine, the last thing I need is geopolymer thermalcrete. And to get that, that's a quest right here. It's actually fairly easy to make. We're actually going to need a decent amount of this though, because we need this for the launch pad. And each piece of the launch pad takes one of these, but it does craft 8 at a time, so it's actually not that expensive in truth. But we're going to need... how much do I need for the... I think it's 25. Yeah, it's 25 for the launch pad. So I guess we'll do like a half stack. So let me start grabbing the pieces for this. We're going to need 16 gravel. On the plus side, though, I'm like a week ahead on videos for Pixel Guard. So, yeah. I'm going to have some time to really sit down and build a bunch on here. We are going to need 4 aluminum dust. And then we're going to need 4 glass dust. We've got that glass running. But also, we are going to be... After we go into space, we're going to be overhauling a lot of stuff and automating all the things. So progression is going to be even easier here soon enough. And then we're going to need some concrete. And we've actually made this before. It's just stone dust, clay dust, and some water. Makes 576 millibuckets of concrete. And I'm going to need 4 crafts of that. So let me get 12 stone dust, 4 clay dust, and then I'll just grab some water. And apparently I completed a quest, Balanced Electrolysis, which doesn't seem to have any rewards. So. Oh, and there's actually, I know of another quest that we can actually knock out really, really easy. And it has, I remember seeing the reward pop up, and I can't remember what it was. But we're going to turn it in here in just a second. Once we get this concrete going. This is in the mixer that we need to have this. So that, and then, I can't remember, just out of curiosity, how much water was it per craft? Doesn't really matter, but 500 millibuckets, so I just need 2 buckets. Wasn't sure if I should bother grabbing the tank out or not. Okay, so there's our concrete that we need. And then all this stuff is going to be ran through the mixer. Okay. So I'll just grab that, dump that into there. We're going to dump that, and then I need the glass. And we need one other thing. We're going to get that here in just a second. It's really easy to craft, though. I'm not sure if I'm going to need the mixer for it. If so, I can pull the liquid out. It's not a biggie, but set this to never active. There's our glass dust. And I'm sure we're going to need some more of this stuff. I imagine it might actually be something that later on we end up automating. Maybe docking pad, launch pad, suit workstation, rocket assembling machine, mechanism, laser acceptor. Okay, never mind. We won't be automating that, I don't think. It's just not worth it. I don't think. I don't foresee any reason to automate it. Okay, so the last thing that we need is the sodium hydroxide dust. And we're going to need 4 of these. And these actually, they're not too bad to make. It's the electrolyzer that we need to run it through. and then the chemical reactor to get this. Okay, so basically it's just salt and water. Gets us 1,000 millibuckets, and then 2,000 millibuckets gets us 1 sodium hydroxide dust. Okay, so we're going to need to get ourselves 8 salt and 8 buckets of water. Right, there's the water. And we will, later on, we'll have, well, we have automatic water for some spots, but it's just not, when I only need a few buckets at a time usually, it's not a big deal. Okay, so let me see. It was electrolyzer, and then it was chemical reactor. Okay, so our water, our salt, we'll get that running. And the quest that I had in mind to quickly complete is, if we grab a bucket of this, that's going to complete a quest for chlorine. And I actually don't have chlorine slotted anywhere, so I'm just going to dump it into here for now. And then, like I said, a lot of that stuff's going to get sorted out, because like I said, I don't think some of that stuff that we're really going to need that much of the liquid, but we will cut down on some stuff here soon enough. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to run this through the electrolyzer. So dump that into there. This is going to take a little while to run, it looks like. I'm honestly not sure if I don't want to just dump all of this into here, because it'll be a little bit faster. And let me go dump out this sodalite. And I might as well go ahead and grab all that chlorine. And I can't remember what the quest reward is. We're going to check that here in just a second. I seem to remember it being something. It was like, oh, I'm actually going to need some of these, and but I can't remember what it was. So let's go ahead and pull that up, because it came up when I was looking at something. Oh, it's salt. Okay. So I was looking because I was making sure that the salt recipe still worked that I was using, and it did, but yeah. So there's our sodium hydroxide dust. We'll get the last one. There we go. And then we can add this into the mixer. And there we go. That's going to start running, and that's going to make us our stuff, our thingamabobs. Geopolymer, thermocrete. Okay, so there's our geopolymer thermocrete, and quest complete. And then one piece of this dropped into there, and we can get our rocket assembling machine. So quest completed, and we get 4 liquid fuel tanks from Advanced Rocketry. So there's those, and these, I believe, yeah, you can put these in the ground. I actually use these for decor. Back on, what was that pack? I can't think of the name of it. But we were building kind of like ruins and had some of those set up. But okay, next up we have the next little batch of quests here. We have the guidance computer, we have the launchpad and the structure towers, and we have all the space stuff, the suit workstation, and all the spacesuit that we need to put together. So I guess we're going to start with the launchpad. This is actually fairly easy to craft. We're going to have to make some structure towers, and we need to craft 9 of these. And I believe that I've got everything. I think it's just steel rods, so we just need 2 crafts of those. And then the other part of it is this geopolymer thermocrete. Okay, and then we need our thermocrete that was getting pulled into here. And let's see, the launch pads, these are black dye and dandelion yellow. So I'm going to have to go get some of that together real quick. Okay, I was actually going to make some plant balls so I could duplicate some of these flowers, but instead I just decided to just hop around and see what I could find. But this actually comes from blackberries, which are just bushes that give fruit. And so I found a bit of those, which did help. And then, of course, dandelions. So we'll go ahead and get our launch pads. There we go. And that quest is now complete, and we get 16 fused quartz from that. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up, get these out of our inventory, and get our launch pad set up and where it's going to be. And actually what I've decided I'm going to do is this little area back here. that kind of runs through. It's going to, there was a pathway here, and I want to keep that pathway because it's going to lead to something. But I decided what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set the launch pad up here because I was wanting to do kind of a tower that kind of comes off because this is really, really flat. Like I said, we were going to put something here. And so what we're going to do is have somewhat of like a little tower that kind of comes off the back of this and goes up. And then this will, right up here, will be the top of it. But this is actually going to be like metal frames that kind of come up and hold this up above this walkway. And if we hop up here, this is where we're going to be setting up the launch pad at. So, and I think I want to switch this cobblestone for the launch pad. So like that, and then what we'll do is we'll have the structure tower come out, and I guess it's going to come off from like this side, or no, it's going to come off. It's going to come off from this side. I'm just thinking here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And I think that's as high as it needs to go. I think the one down there, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up one more because I can't recall. I don't recall if this one has to be there or if it's 9 above. I can't, like I said, I can't remember. So we're going to put it like that. And so that's going to be our launch pad. And this will all get plugged in. It's not going to be floating there for too long. Like I said, I should have some time to do a bit of dedicated build work on here coming up. So, but I've also kind of been just pushing to AE2 because it'll just make things a little bit more, like the Greg Tech side of things, a little bit more bearable once we get to that. Okay, so that's done. Now next up, we either need to get don't get lost in space. We'll go ahead and knock this one out. This is just a guidance computer. We're going to need one machine structure. Let me go ahead and just pull up the guidance computer. And I'm going to need one aluminum plate. And then we're going to need these tracking circuits. These are basic circuit plates, eyes of ender, and redstone. Of course, the eyes of ender and the redstone, I should have those. But this is silicon wafers. Well, we're going to have to use wafers right here. And this is where we're going to have to make our monocrystalline silicon bull. And so this is a tiny pile of gallium dust and 32 silicon dust to make that. Sounds good. Actually, I've got silicon made up, but if I want it in dust form, I'm going to need more aluminum and stuff anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and run another stack of this. And let it build up our silicon dust real quick. And I'll be back in a minute once that's done, I think. Okay, our silicon is done. So let's take a look again. Making this. Okay, the program circuit needs to be configuration 1 and no liquid. Okay, so the gallium, I've got it compacted, but there's a pretty good chance that I've got some, yeah, right here. So let me grab one of those, and our circuit, we'll set that to 1 and get this running. And it looks like this is going to take a pretty long time to run. So while that's running, we'll come back to this. Yeah, we really don't have much left for that. But this right here, the suit workstation, let's go ahead and make this. We're going to need some electrum gears, and by the way, these can be ran through the extruder. Cool. Okay, there's our electrum. We will get that running through this. And then, yeah, the rest of this, I guess, I've got to make the red alloy plates. I think I've got everything else, though. Suit workstation. Yeah, just the red alloy plates that I need. Okay, so there's that. And then we're just waiting on the electrum gear to run. Okay, so the space boots. Magnetic steel, white rock wool, and aluminum rod. Now this stuff I've already got. The white rock wool is just mixer, a little bit of water, gravel, sand, and wool. Okay. I think I've still got some wool down here. I think. Because I went and sheared a bunch because my sheep despawned before and I've just never set up another farm for them. And actually, while I'm down here, I'm going to need white rock wool there, so I'm going to need 3 pieces there. 5, 11, 15 pieces of wool. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the gravel and the sand. I can't remember the exact amounts that we're going to need, but this will be fine. That, and then we're going to need like 2 buckets of water. Because I think it was 100 millibuckets per craft. Okay, so there's the electrum plate, and we will get the suit workstation. Task complete. And then while that stuff's running to get the rock wool, I'm going to have to pop down there and get bone meal, I guess, because we need it to be white. The high pressure tanks are made in the extruder. Okay. Okay, and then let's pop over here. How is this stuff doing? 66%. That thing takes forever. We're going to be upgrading, probably not until after we go to space, but we are going to be upgrading the blast furnace and building a few more of those. It's probably going to be one of the things we do after we hit 82, honestly. Is this... Okay, yeah, it's pulling it into here. Okay, so let me get I'm going to make the tanks. Can I not search on this? And I guess we'll just, that's titanium. Okay, so, let me get 2 of these running real quick in the bending machine. And then I want to get the cylinder shape plate. So there's that. And then pop this into the extruder. Get that running, making our tank for us. Alright, and then over here, let me go ahead and get this stuff crafted up. And that. So, I'm going to set this in here for right now. Okay, so there's our high pressure tank. That's done. And then next up, we need, if we look up suit, I think it'll pull up some of this. But let's go ahead and get spacesuit leggings. Let's get, I need a couple things here for this rotor. So that, and then I'll toss that into the lathe. I think that'll automatically get pulled over. And I'm just going to make some more aluminum plates real quick. Okay, so the steel rotor, there's that. And then we need that. Spacesuit chest plate. Okay, and then space helmet and space boots is all we're missing. So let's go ahead and space helmets. Oh yeah, I'm missing the rock wool. There's the rest of that. Space helmet. Boom. And space boots. I'm going to need magnetic steel plates. Thought I had those being auto-produced. No, I was producing magnetic steel rods. Okay. So I'll just need to dump a couple of these in the polarizer. Honestly, one of the reasons that I can't wait to get all this stuff automated is because I get lost trying to find the machines that I'm looking for in here. And there is our space boots. And quest complete. Live long and prosper. We get an enchanted book with airtight seal and a Korean dinner. Okay, now let's pop over here. Let's see if this is finally done. Yes. monocrystalline silicon bull. And we got a quest complete for that. And I'm just going to put that back because I use that for running my silicon, getting ingots. And you can break those ingots back into dust. So, fake electrical engineering. This right here, we get 8 more as a reward. So as soon as you can make them, you're going to have a bit of them for a little while. And then I think we can go ahead and make this. Technically, it just takes nitrogen, but we need 64 silicon dust, 8 glowstone, and get one of these, which can make the glowstone doped wafers, which we'll get into those later. I was looking at those before. They're pretty efficient for crafting, but and they do craft some higher tier stuff. So okay, so now what I need to do is, let me pop over here. I almost moved this between episodes, but then I decided I was going to wait for right now, but it is going to be getting moved before too long. That and no, I'm sorry, I need to actually run this through the cutting saw first. That's right, because I need to turn it into wafers. So that goes in. And we are going to get 16 wafers. Awesome. And quest complete. Wafers. And we get 32 wafers. I like the rewards over here. That's not to say, I mean, we're going to have to craft a bunch of those. Once we get back from space, we're going to need to be automating this because this is something that we're going to be using a lot of. Because we're going to move into better circuits, basically. And, no, wait, I'm sorry. This isn't, we actually have to refine it a little bit more, don't we? Because what we are after is the, yeah, we have to do this first. The basic circuit plate, which is redstone and gold for that. Okay, let me grab that. And we'll dump this stuff into there. That's going to start running. And you can see it's crafting our circuit plates. It's a little bit slower because if you look in here, you can see, like, for example, the time on this is 50 RF per tick for over 45 seconds. This is 100 RF per tick over 45 seconds. So the speed, what we were making last episode, those little, I don't know, boards that we were making, they were a bit quicker to craft than this is. So, and there goes that last one. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 3, move them over to here, so then it can start running that as soon as that's done. And I'm just going to dump these into there for now and dump those into there for now. And I guess I'll take the airtight seal enchanted book real quick. And actually, let me get 2 more of these aluminum plates. I think I am going to go ahead and make 1 more tank real quick. Because if I recall, the chest can hold 2 tanks. And we're going to have to fill these things up. And let's see, we're also going to need GregTech oxygen. Oxygen bucket. This right here is what we're going to need. And we can use the centrifuge. The electrolyzer with water would work. Man, it takes 75 seconds. Even distilled water takes 75 seconds. I guess there's really no benefit to even running distilled water. It's the same power cost and everything on that. Carbon dioxide. But we actually have a bit of oxygen, right? And actually, I wonder, I'm going to test something. I almost forgot we have all this right here. 18,000 millibuckets. I can't remember. I think these tanks only hold like 1,000 millibuckets. These high pressure tanks. And let me... it works. Okay. And they're too light to handle. So we are going to float away. So they hold 4,000 millibuckets. That's not too bad. I'm going to put those away in my backpack for right now. And we're going to take a look at modules here in just a second. So I'm not going to apply this stuff to the spacesuit just yet. And then... grab this. We'll run this back through. There's our tracking circuits. This is just about done. There we go. We got our 4 tracking circuits. Okay, so now we can make our guidance computer. So that, there we go. You have now unlocked access to the Space and Luna. To gain access to Euclides Prime, you will need to go to Luna. Okay. Sounds good. And we get 2 Ender Elevator Whites. Okay, so those quests are done now. And now we have anybody ready for, or anybody for a barf bag. Okay, now before we do that, let's go ahead and pull up, if I do module, does it pull it up? Advanced rocketry. Okay, so here's the modules that we can use. Okay, and I was looking through the modules here. You can't craft a jetpack in this pack, so we don't need anything. We don't need any modules on the chest. Because if I recall correctly, the only thing you can put on the chest is the jetpack and then tanks to store the hydrogen. But since that's not craftable, we don't need it. That also means that the hover upgrade and the flight speed control upgrade, we don't need those. Unless maybe you can maybe get a jetpack from a dungeon. That's a possibility. But at least at the moment, we don't need these. The bionic leg upgrades would maybe be worth making. Because those are just fun. And the padded landing boots also might be worth, well, no, probably not the padded landing boots, because, and the anti-fog visor, I don't think we're going to need that right now. I don't think we need that until one of the later planets, which we'll get into that whenever we do that. The atmosphere analyzer I don't need. I don't really use that. Beacon finder, we might actually have some fun with beacons. And at least cover them because they're really cool, at least visually. I do want to do some for decorative purposes. But overall, I don't think that we'll necessarily need any of this stuff because I've got airtight seal, I've got airtight seal 4 on the boots. I don't think it matters. I think airtight seal 1 does everything that you need. But since we've got that, I don't think we're actually going to be wearing the space boots. I'm going to bring them just in case. I know there was a bug in the past where airtight seal didn't always work right. So I don't want to get up there and only have these and be suffocating. So I'll probably wear the space boots in, but then maybe switch them out after. We'll see. But what I want to do is, let's actually take the chest piece. That's, I think, the only thing. The spacesuit work. I think that's the only thing I want right now. The bionic leg upgrades, we will probably make some of those later. But they're going to be a whole lot easier later if we wait just a little bit longer because we're going to be making these a bit easier. We could go ahead and make these, in truth. I don't think there's anything really stopping us now that we have our wafers. But I don't want to even bother with these until we automate them with AE2. Or at least until we're getting ready to automate them with AE2 or whatever. So I'm going to hold off on that. And I am going to empty out our backpacks before we go. But there's our high pressure tanks. And if we equip this, we can actually see down there at the bottom, we have O2 bar. That tells us how much oxygen we currently have available. So let's go ahead and pop back over here. And I think that's going to be good for right now. Basically, the other modules, just as a heads up, bionic leg upgrade lets you run super fast. You can put up to 4 of these. That's the only upgrade for your legs, but you can put up to 4 of them, and the more you put on there, the faster you go. So basically, if you're walking and stuff, it doesn't really take effect, or at least it didn't. But if you hit sprint, you're going to move super fast. So that's what those do. And then the padded landing boots, you take no fall damage. So they're kind of nice, but we have these, and I don't know. We'll see. I think these will be better. I'm not sure how effective the longsword's going to be in actually, I think it might actually be pretty effective with the reduced gravity, but we'll see. But yeah. And the anti-fog visor is basically going to let us see better. We will get into that. I remember seeing a quest down here, yeah, right here it says anti-fog visors, pressure and thermal protection mandatory before we go to Dark Star Aurelia, which will be a little while before we go there. But okay, so our space station is, our spacesuit is sorted now. That's all we're going to do with that. Okay, now we need to get this. We need the rocket assembling machine, which is this, right? Do you not... wait a second. We need... Requires explosive. Don't get lost in space. Foundations of flight. Live long and prosper. Okay, I'm missing explosive, which is this. The cold never bothered me. Cryogenic hydrogen. That's going to be under... The cold never bothered me is vacuum freezer. Okay. Almost forgot. If you run into something like that, you can click and just hit here, and it's going to open up. Which this is required. Sustainable steel without the... Which is this. So we're going to have to make stainless steel. And an HV machine hull. Okay, so we're going to have to get HV up and going before we can do that, and I believe that all just ties in with... Because we're going to have to make our rocket fuel. So rocket fuel is cryogenic oxygen and cryogenic hydrogen, and these are in the vacuum freezer. Blizz powder and hydrogen. Wow. 10,000 of that. And then 10,000 oxygen to get the cryogenic oxygen. So I think we're probably going to need to automate this a little bit better, but water... is going to create our hydrogen and oxygen for us. So basically I just need to set up something for processing that, I think. Okay, but we need to start looking towards HV, basically. And stainless steel... Stainless steel dust. It is chrome, manganese, nickel, and then iron dust to get 9 of those. Okay, let me get that together, and I'm actually going to make a decent amount of this, I think. And chrome, we can get that from ruby dust and chromite dust. Yeah, I'll probably go with the ruby dust. 6 of that, which I think I've got ruby already ran through here. Maybe I don't. No, I don't think I do, actually. But I have ruby ore. Okay, so I've got to process this, and I've got to make some caches to hold the materials that are going to come from this. So let me do that. It's basically, I think, just going to be chrome and ruby, I think. Let's see. Crushed ruby. Yeah, we're going to get some chrome there. And then we're going to get red garnet is the other thing that we're going to get. Okay, so I'll be back here in, and then of course we can centrifuge it and get more chrome, but we'll probably get a decent amount just from processing through almost 2 stacks of this. So, okay, we should be good to make the stainless steel now. I've had this running for a little bit, so we're going to need chrome, nickel, manganese, and iron dust. Let me get, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and go crazy, and I'm going to make 10 crafts. So we'll get 90 of this, because I think I have the materials for it. There's the chrome. I'm just going to have to break this iron down. And then I'm going to need, it was nickel and manganese. I've got enough of this. I don't have a whole lot, but I'm actually running a bit more tantalite through. Because we only had 2 ingots of this, so I figured we were going to need some of that at least. And then this stuff right here. Okay, and is this still running? Yeah. Okay. I was trying to queue up more tantalite, but I'll run some more of that here in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff crushed down and get it in dust form so that we can combine it up. Okay, and there's 6. Let's go ahead and craft up our first batch. real quick. We're going to need a whole lot more of this, but that's okay. And this stuff just goes through the blast furnace. Yeah, it just takes about 1.5 minutes to run it. So it is still faster than making those silicon things. So, but I'll be back here in a while. I will probably set up another cache to store our stainless steel, like maybe right next to the silicon. But I'll be back in a minute once I get at least a decent amount of this stuff ran, because we're going to have to make some HV machine bits. Some bits and bobs. So I'm probably just going to go AFK for a bit. Maybe edit some footage while I wait. So I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, this has been running for a little bit. There's still 46 left in there. But we have some stainless. I'm going to go ahead and grab... Let's do 2 for right now. I know we can't have too many of these probably, or within reason. But let's go ahead and I'm going to run these through the bending machine. Get these turned into plates. The nice thing is, like, plates are always pretty much 24 AU per tick. And or I can run it through the basic one. We will be upgrading all of our machines in time, just not right this second, because I feel like with Greg Tech it seems like it's best just to push on for a ways and not upgrade you. Like I said before, don't upgrade your machines every single tier, because you end up wasting just a whole lot of materials. Okay, so there's that, and then we need the HV machine hull, which is gold cables. Let's see. I know I made some of these a bit back. I made wire. That was for the motors. That's what I was making. Okay, so let me get 2 of these. We'll get these ran. These should auto send over to the assembler. Okay, so there's our gold cables. Awesome. And go ahead and just get all of these, and this other one should be ready to go. There we go. And then this, that, HV machine hulls, and quest complete, quest complete, quest complete. 3 of them. First up right here, sustainable steel without the we get 8 manganese dust and fried chicken. And then we completed this quest. There's no reward for that one. And then we also completed the quest here under God's Plan, and we get the high voltage trophy. We get 4 good electronic circuits, and we get 4 MV or HV machine hulls. So that. So now we've got 6 of these. We're going to go ahead and just dump these into there for right now, and we're going to be completing this soon as well, I do believe. And we might actually turn our attention to some of that after we go into space. Well, no, we can't do that yet. I know, but maybe some of this other stuff. We're gonna do a bit of magic after we go to space, because we're going to be able to push forward with a lot of magic that we haven't been able to push forward with before. Okay, so now that we've got that, we should have unlocked, if I can find it here. I misplaced it. Oh, right here. The cold never bothered me anyway. What's this? Advanced chemical reactor. Then the HV chemical reactor, an assembling machine, Infinity War. Okay. Vacuum freezer, we're going to need an input hatch, input bus, output hatch, and 20 frostproof machine blocks. Okay, so here we go. The vacuum freezer. This is going to take frostproof machine casings. These craft 3 at a time, and we're going to need 21 of them. We're also going to need atomic alloys, HV electric pumps, gold cables. And then the frostproof machine casings take aluminum plates, aluminum frames. Okay. Which I currently have 4 aluminum plates. I know the aluminum frames we can craft out easy enough. Aluminum frame. Oh, but they take plates. And it was 1 per craft. Okay, so we're going to need 2 crafts of that. Probably going to need all of this aluminum, I'm sure. So let me just go ahead and dump this into the bending machine. And then let me grab all this aluminum dust. And I wonder if I could, if I put this in front of it, will it run this before it continues on with... We're at 24 and 41. Okay, I'm going to give that a shot and see if that works. If not, I'll have to pull the stainless out. But I don't need so much stainless right this second, but I'm going to need more aluminum ran. But aluminum is going to get a whole lot easier to make probably after we go to space. Here we go. Moment of truth. No, it pulled from the stainless. Man. Okay. Well, I'm just going to hold on to this for a minute. But we got some other stuff we have to craft anyways, so it's not a big deal. And actually, I might go ahead and run some more sodalite. And I was actually thinking between cuts, I was thinking about the rocket fuel. You know, we talked about that earlier. I don't think... I mean, we will automate hydrogen and oxygen because I know we're going to need a lot of it in the near future for different things. But we're probably going to wait till we get to 82 because actually, if... I mean, that's 1,000 liters of rocket fuel. I'm not for sure how much rocket fuel we're going to need. If one of those will be fine or not. And we actually get one as a reward. But I don't think I'm going to automate this because, in truth, unless we find ourselves using the rocket fuel for other stuff, I mean, there's gas turbines and diesel. Yeah, we might actually, I don't know if we'll use that as a power source. I've got a couple different things I'm debating about for power sources, because after we get back from space, that's another thing we're going to be doing, is power source stuff. But in truth, with our rocket anyways, I mean, if we automate it as a power source, that's all well and good. But we won't need it, you know, automated for rocket fuel, for the rocket ship, because we're only ever going to blast off, like, at most, I think 4 times, because we'll just set up teleporters, and that way we can warp back really easily. And we're going to be doing that probably next episode, in truth. So it's not really something that we have to automate. So we'll probably hold off on that. We'll probably just get what we need to craft to go into space. Because like I said, once we hit space, life's going to be a bit easier for us. So that's kind of what I'm holding out on. Okay, so I think that's running aluminum now. And that's like, basically, I want to expand, but I just want to wait until we have 82 so I can just order it instead of having to... I mean, this helps a lot, and I could add a couple other things to it, but, I mean, we're literally right there going into space and being able to start 82, so I think we're going to push on for it. Normally I wouldn't push for 82 so hard, but it's Greg Tech. So I'm like, I want 82 now. I'm just going to push on through. Okay, so we're going to need an input hatch, input bus, output hatch. And let me check something here. We're doing this for this stuff. And making this stuff is just, okay, it's just one input, one liquid input. 120 EU per tick. Okay, so what we're going to do for the... let's actually just pull up hatch. Okay, so for the input hatch, I'm just going to go with 16,000 millibuckets. I'll probably just go with an LV one. And I think I have these lying around somewhere. Right? I have energy. I don't think that I ever upgraded... No, I probably never upgraded any of this other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to need to... There's our input hatch. I think, yeah, we're going to need a fluid output hatch, I'm sure. Let's see. Yeah, output hatch. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get the output hatch. So there's that. And then input bus and output bus. Okay, so there is our LV output bus. There is our input bus. Okay. So that's done, and now all we need is the 20 frostproof machine blocks, machine casings, and then the vacuum freezer, which I'm steadily getting these crafted out bit by bit as the aluminum comes in. And let me actually grab another 18 aluminum, dump that into there. That should be plenty for us to get this, and that might actually be enough to get us into space, which if so, like I said, we're going to be able to make this stuff, aluminum, a little bit easier, I think, before too long. But I just need 2 more crafts of it. Then we should have that in no time. Okay, so the vacuum freezer. My goal is this episode, get the vacuum freezer set up, and then we'll probably end out because I know we're getting close to wrapping up point. We're going to need 3 of these electric pumps. Steel rotor, gold cable, and stainless steel pipes. Electric motor is stainless steel rods, copper wires, gold cables. Okay, I think first and foremost what I should do is craft up a bunch of this gold wire. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect this because I guess whenever I added this stuff in the last episode, it's caused some kind of an issue where I just noticed this, and I had put some gold in the wire mill. It sent it over to the macerator. If I leave it running and I'm not pulling the stuff out, so our machines have somewhere they've gotten wonky because I added this stuff. Which, you know, I did say whenever we first did this, I said if you add stuff, it can mess it up. It messed it up, all right. And so I'm going to have to either go through and sort it all out, or say, okay, well, we're about to go into space, and then we'll just switch to AE2. I think it's done its job, honestly, because we literally have like a small push to hit AE2 at this point. So I might just push on to that, and for now, just do all this stuff manually. We'll see. We shall see. So it's not going to be collecting the items anymore. I think that's going to be one of the worst things. The item collection and stuff does work still, and a lot of it still works, but it seems like the wire mill does not work. This wire mill here. So I'm going to disconnect that for now. But okay, so let me get... I'm going to change this back over to 24. Get that running again. Okay, so we need these right here. So 4 times copper wire. We are going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4. Okay, so we got our 12 4 times copper wire, and this stuff let me just dump it into there, and then we need our we just need our stainless steel rods. Let me grab a bit of that stainless steel real quick. And this thing's still kicking on aluminum. Yes, well, I'd hope so, because I still need a bit. And let me actually dump our hatches in here for right now, just to free up some inventory space for us. Which I guess I could go ahead and start setting all this up, because really this is all I'm working on is this, and then we need... that's enough aluminum. Okay, so we are done with the aluminum part. Okay, so I'm going to need 3 crafts of this ran through the lathe. Looks like it's going to take a little while for that to run. And then the atomic alloy is through the assembler, polytetrafluoroethylene. That's what it is. That's what it's called. Tetrafluoroethylene. Chloroform and hydrofluoric acid. Okay, we got a little bit of a rabbit hole there, it looks like. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Oh, and it's 150 EU per tick. So I'm going to have to craft the HV assembler as well. Okay, I can already tell you we're not going to get this done today. Because it's a little bit... we have to do a little bit more than I was thinking we would. So that's fine. We'll get most of it set up. Okay. And we're going to put this, we're going to start setting this up right here. And at least go ahead and get the parts together that we've got. And we'll get the electric pumps done. And then next episode, we'll probably do the... Next episode, we will probably do this part, the atomic alloy. Because I'm going to get some stuff together, and we'll move through it at a decent rate, hopefully. But we're going to have to make circuits, which is really long overdue. I think we probably should have already started making circuits through the assembler method. But it's just, honestly, we haven't really been making a ton of machines since we hit MV. We're at HV now, you know, because we kind of just... This is all the MV machines we made, really. Because it's really not that important that we make everything, like I said. So, okay, rubber rings, we've got that. I'm going to have to make... Okay, I'm trying to get the rotors crafted up, but I ran out of steel plates, so I've got those running. And then really all we're missing for this is the electric motor and the stainless pipes, which we can do. 3 stainless gets us 1 of those. Okay, so I'm going to get that running. It's going to make us our stainless pipes for us. There's those. And so that's all of that. And then we need the stainless steel rods from there. And then we should be good to get 3 of those electric motors. And then we need... I need more steel screws and I need more gold cables. Okay, so our electric pumps... there's that. There's that. And that. Okay. And then we'll just lay these out like that. And so all we have to get now is the atomic alloy to get the vacuum freezer, and that'll be all set. Which really isn't too bad. It's just a little bit of a rabbit hole, and we've got to basically make a new liquid, more or less. But I think the worst part is I'm going to have to make... well, actually, let me see. The atomic alloy... polytetrafluorine. I'm going to need the new assembler right here. So I'm going to have to get the HV assembler. Chrome foil, I can still craft like normal. Reinforced alloy, we've made this before. Of course, in the assembler, a little bit of rubber enriched alloy, and that's just soldering alloy, graphite, and destabilized redstone. Not too bad. I'll probably go ahead and get these prepped up between episodes, and then basically we'll just have to get the polytetrafluorine or fluoroethylene. That name is ridiculous. Polytetrafluoroethylene. There we go. We're going to get that. And I'm assuming that if we go through like this, well, we'll probably go through this method, so well, we'll still probably need like, what, 2 crafts I think will make 3. Oxygen, and this is 30 EU per tick, so our machines will work fine. And then we need, looks like I may have to make the new chemical reactor as well. And then for chloroform, that's chlorine and methane. We actually have that stuff lying around. We can make that. And then that actually makes hydrofluoric acid. Well, this makes hydrochloric acid, which we need fluorine and hydrogen, or fluorine and lithium. And fluorine is electrolyzer stuff that we can use to make that. Okay, so it's just a little bit of a rabbit hole. We're going to have to make 2 HV machines basically to make the vacuum freezer. That's the assembler and the chemical reactor, and it's actually the 2 that have a quest for them. So this one and this one, which I still have never made the MV advanced chemical reactor. So I may go ahead and make one of those as well between episodes, so that it's really not expensive. But that way we actually get the quest completed, and I'm not even sure what we would need that for. Yeah, and then we'll get that done next episode. And then once we get that done, then that's going to unlock this, and we can move through and make our rocket fuel pretty quickly, and then put this stuff together, which is actually all pretty cheap, and we already have this done. The liquid fueled, these are actually really, really cheap, just steel, dynamic valves, polyethylene plate pipes, and then the liquid fueled engines are very, very cheap. Awesome. And then seats, just wool of any color. And that, of course, we've already got. And so then we will be ready to launch off. So next episode, we're going to finish, and we also have to do this. I want to get this set up, which these are actually super cheap in this pack. So we will get that. I'll have to get into unstable mana. Just 500, 2,000. Okay, mana and ethanol. Okay, yeah. So probably, I'm guessing that probably next episode we'll finish up. We'll get the vacuum freezer. We'll move to that pretty quick. I'll get some stuff laid out and set up so that we can, do like normal. We can kind of just craft some things through the crafting station. And then I think we will just, like I said, we'll knock through, boom, 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 these three, and then knock through these two. They're actually not that bad. Knock through this. It's also not bad. And then we'll be at this point, basically. And then we're going to go ahead and do this as well before we launch. And then the episode after, we're going into space. So, or that's the plan. It might be, if we get all that done in next episode, it'll be beginning of the following episode. We'll do final prep and then go into space. And then if we have to do a little bit of work, then it might be a little bit later in the episode. But episode after next, we should be going into space. I should think. So, unless something freakish just comes up. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And like I said, once we get into space, it's going to open up a lot of stuff. It's going to open up a lot of magic. It's going to open up revisiting tech and just redoing things with AE2. And it's going to really open up Thaumcraft, I believe. So, anyways, I hope you guys join me for next time. Until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I'll see you guys then.